And then I told Alfred, why the hell didn't you pick up my dry cleaning? And then he was just like, but sir, shit, we're on.
Do you want me to, take care of that vendetta for you?
Yes, do that for me. We're both about vengeance of the night.
Yes.
Welcome to the 321 Screw.
Sorry, I can't keep it up my throat. It's killing me. Oh. Hey, it's just me, guys.
I'm not really Batman.
We was tricking you. Welcome. 321 Screw Thursday Throwdown, our Halloween episode.
Yeah, que pasa, man.
So we got to start off with a little unfortunateness, but it's only for 1 week. We'll get this fixed before next week.
Yeah.
You remember last week when I had mentioned that my buddy had the Papa Shango spell book he got a hold of? We were going to check it out.
Right.
So we went and we were looking at it. It was cool. It was neat. We were, check some stuff out. I got one that I thought was cool.
Reading some of the spells in it and stuff.
I read one off. I thought, no harm, no foul.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, when I read it off, I'll just show you. We sort of turned Joey into a fish.
And Joey, you need to stop shitting in the tank, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's just unprofessional.
You filthy.
Not on the show, man.
All right.
Not on the show.
Live on our show, and you're pooping in your bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, Joey.
Oh.
But, we'll check in with him from time to time throughout the show, see if he has any input.
Yeah.
So, yes, Halloween.
Yes.
And we got lots to talk about. Our ultimate topic for tonight is going to be scary, creepy, spooky characters, gimmick, storylines, whatever you want to call it. But we also got to talk about the elephant in the room there, the crown jewel. Before we get into that, I just want to kind of show you here, for those who might be interested in, we have the 321 Screw Halloween shirts here. Cool little skull, happy Halloween, the 321 Screw in the bloody, drippy font there. Is something that you would be interested in? You might want one for yourself?
Go to 321screw.com and then go ahead and message either one of us, including Joe.
Including Joey.
I mean, he should be back to normal soon.
Yeah, we ordered him one of those underwater phones, so he'll be able to, answer. Yeah. Or if not, also be on the squared circle. Either. We have many avenues for which you can reach us. I and Brad, we both of us, we have our personal public figure. I have my Captain Bill page. He's got his Fabulous Bee. So, lots of ways for you to get in touch with us. If you want one of these, like I said, they're really cool. I dig them. And commemorate our first Halloween episode. First of many, 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 many more to come.
Exactly.
But Joey might be a fish at the next one. Who knows? Maybe we'll turn him into a squirrel or a turtle.
A turtle. Yeah,
we could be good.
A turtle. Yeah.
Squirrel would be ironic.
Squirrel would definitely be ironic because every time he goes squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a ferret.
Yeah.
Let us know what we should turn Joey into next year.
Just go ahead and give us a little drop in here. And what do you want to see from Papa Shango's Book of Spells?
Yes.
So also this week I was supposed to have uploaded a video from our buddy Zach Monstar with ARW, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Hopefully sometime in the future we will definitely have him on. We would love to have our friends from ARW on the show.
There was a big homicidal maniac convention that he was actually a guest speaker at, so that's what happened. That's why he couldn't make it, which I understand. We are understanding a convention full of serial killers and lunatics and you know,
poltergeists
and demons from hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to upset them.
Yeah,
they're more vengeful.
Apparently, Jared Padalecki got arrested during that. So, yeah, I mean, being one of the the brothers from Supernatural, I mean,
I would expect that sort of behavior from Dean, but not from Sam.
Yeah, not from Sam.
He's that's just the level-headed one,
right?
Dean was the wild card,
right? Exactly. What the hell?
Those crazy Winchesters.
So, anyways,
trick or treat, Chris. Trick or treat to you too.
So moving on, we had Raw.
Thanks
SmackDown.
for watching. Dale and Joey also are tuned in.
Right on. Peanut, I see you there. The you. Yep.
All about it. We're gonna take it to FS Poo this weekend.
We'll see about that. Anyways, hey Ashley, how are you doing, babe? So, we had Raw, we had SmackDown, which, by the way, I do have that up on our 321screw.com as the blog. So I've got all of the results as they happened, the day that they happened. So if you don't have cable or don't have access to being able to see Raw or SmackDown, go to 321 Screw and check it out. Because, I mean, it gives you, like, case by case, step by step, everything that happens.
Yeah, it's almost like you watched it yourself.
Exactly.
Now, as far as discussing Raw, SmackDown, we're not really going to get into too much because basically both shows were just big lead ups to the Crown Jewel that took place today. So it seems almost pointless. There's nothing really major happened in either way. So it kind of saved us time because really, I mean, the Crown Jewel is a big one I want to talk about.
I do have to, I mean, just jumping ahead a little bit, I'm going to congratulate both of those women who were the first women to ever step foot in the ring in Saudi Arabia.
And Lacey Evans.
That was a very classy, very well executed match. Both women were very professional, and that was probably some of the best in-ring work that I've seen from Natalya and from Lacey Evans.
Yeah, they definitely did a good job representing the women for this historic happening at this Crown Jewel event.
Right.
It was unheard of, for women to take part in that, just because of the traditions and everything in Saudi Arabia. So
do you think that's the company's I'm sorry for missing Evolution this year? Probably pushing it through to the Crown Jewel so they could try to get them in there at the last moment?
It could be. For whatever their reasons are, I was happy to see it. I thought it was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely historic. Like I said, just remember that because 10 years from now, that's going to be the answer to a trivia question.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Who was the first females to wrestle in the ring in Saudi Arabia for the Crown Jewel of 2019?
So, yeah. So, because we're just not really going to, go a whole lot with Raw, SmackDown, I mean, was there anything of note on those two shows that wasn't pertaining to a build-up or something that led up to the Crown Jewel that you can think of? Because nothing comes to my mind. It was all pretty much just that.
Other than the Indian food trash fire known as the Lashley, Lana, and Rusev love triangle, I mean...
But you know what? I will say, of all the stuff, the one that was on the Raw, I found that one to be the most entertaining of all the little confrontations there, because it was... I don't know. It's just... I think maybe it's because there was more action. I'm actually looking forward to the actual Rusev Lashley match because I think that could be.
Well, the fact that they went against each other, so to say, in the Flair Hogan 5-way or 10-way or whatever the hell it was. And just the look on Lashley's face is almost like he was afraid of Rusev. And I mean, he sold it okay, but for the most part, it was like I'm over and done with it. I was over and done with it as soon as I saw Lashley and Lana kissing the very first time. I was like, oh God, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, because they've done it before though with Lana. It was with Lana and Ziggler.
Right.
And then so it's like, I mean, they're kind of with the whole, Lana Rusev, it seems like it's old hat because it was, it was Lana and Ziggler one time, Lana and Aiden English, Lana and someone else too. I can't remember who now.
Yeah, Lana apparently gets around the whole locker room.
Yet she has not called me.
Well, she doesn't want to really ruffle Sasha Banks' feathers.
Right, yeah. And she's scared of Tessa Blanchard, too.
Yeah, she's scared of Tessa Blanchard. Which, by the way, kind of straying away from WWE for a little bit, Tessa Blanchard has made her intentions known that she is not wanting to be with Impact anymore.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
She is done with Impact, and she is wanting to move on, which I think that she is going to eventually show up in AEW or NXT.
Yeah, I would say AEW simply because of her father's already involved with AEW there.
True.
But at the same time, that could be what steers her away from AEW. Maybe she don't want to go AEW to have people saying, "Oh, well, you're here because of your dad."
Right.
Where if she went to WWE NXT, she would, that would have been on her own merits, not because he talked to some people and got her in.
Right. Exactly.
Not that I'm saying that he needs to do that, because I think she, she's viable, for whoever, but how people are, and they will say that,
Right, exactly. But I mean, like you said, she is definitely not one to be messed with. I mean, even on her own merit. I mean, they could have packaged her as anybody without the Blanchard last name, and she would have been over just the same as she is now.
She's a badass. She is. She'll be a future. Whichever promotion gets her is going to benefit, and she will be a women's champion for one of those two promotions.
Right.
So.
Now, I also have heard that Ring of Honor is very upset with AEW and wants nothing to do with them because Ring of Honor, most of their top stars left to go to AEW.
Ah.
So they hold a lot of ill will against AEW. And also the feeling that I had here a couple episodes back about Impact being kind of like a proving ground for AEW, that was also misleading and false. So I apologize for any of that information that you guys may have relayed. But there's some disdain between those two companies only because of the whole Kylie Ray and the other guy. God, I can't remember his name. Joey Ryan, yeah. Joey Ryan, whenever he came over to Impact from AEW.
Yeah. But, I mean, hey, Ring of Honor and Impact have both been around for a lot longer than AEW. And just the fact that AEW has progressed and elevated themselves to where they are now, nothing was stopping Ring of Honor or Impact from doing that same thing.
Right.
They didn't do it. And we have talked about before, I don't know a whole lot about Ring of Honor. I'm not real familiar with the people they have there, but I do know about Impact. And Impact has the talent.
Right, exactly.
They could easily be where AEW was if they just made that push. But they were happy being on on Twitch and the internet and all. So
Alex, I definitely agree. Ring of Honor is better than AEW at this point. More consistent storytelling, 100% agree. But so
yeah. So before we get forward, just because like I said, we're not going to talk a lot about Ross Mann. There was one thing. Just I did watch the NWA Power Hour this week.
okay.
And there was just, I mean, it was again the same thing. I dig the show. I love the premise, but there was the thing. It started out with James Storm James Storm and Eli Drake. Nick Aldis, they'll come out. They were talking. Well, James Storm basically said that, I want a shot at your title. So, and then Colt Cabana come out, and it was a whole big thing. So, basically, what happened was Nick Aldis told him, he says, "Okay, I tell you what." He says, "I'll get a couple guys," or he says, "I've got a couple guys," meaning Colt Cabana and Mr. Anderson. He says, "You get a couple guys, and we'll have us a match, a 6-man tag match.
Okay.
If you guys win, you get a shot at the 10 pounds of gold. However, you get a shot at my title, but in doing that, you have to relinquish the national title that you're holding."
Right.
So he says, "You want to get something, you got to give something." So he says, "If my team wins," he says, "you give Colt Cabana a title shot at your belt." So that was the stipulation. So they went in and they come in, and so when the match come out, it was Nick Aldis, Ken Anderson, and Colt Cabana against James Storm, and he brought the Wild Cards, who are the NWA Tag Team Champions right now. So
Okay.
you had a 6-man tag match with a whole hell of a lot of gold in it. You had the world champ Nick Aldis. You had the NWA national champ James Storm. You had the NWA Tag Team Champions, the Wild Cards, and then Colt Cabana and Ken Anderson. So
would it easily be known as the 50 pounds of gold match?
yeah. So it was a very entertaining match. I enjoyed it. I liked it. Good action back and forth. James Storm he's been one of my favorites for a long time now, and I really dig it. His character, his attitude, just everything about him. And he's an awesome in-ring performer. It's great. His mic skills. He is the redneck Ric Flair.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But Nick Aldis' team won. So that means Colt Cabana is going to be getting a title shot for James Storm's NWA national title, and that was the main event, and that's how that one ended.
Awesome.
So and then we had, of course, NXT and AEW on Wednesday.
And I remember you were giving us some highlights and some snippets as we were as it was all going on. Unfortunately, I missed it, but. Yeah, so I guess there was a women's match on NXT.
Oh, let me tell you. Well, before we get to that, let me just talk about Finn Balor comes out. He's the big question. Everyone, why he did what he did and everything, and he even said that he's like, he says everyone, and why I did what I did. He says, he says, well, he says 2 months ago, I laid down for somebody. For someone who's the biggest thing in wrestling right now because he put a mask on. He said, I took my mask off and am now the biggest thing in wrestling right now. Because that's all people had been talking about was like The Fiend and then Finn Balor's heel turn. So
right.
So yeah, so he just kind of let it be known. He's like, hey, I'm no more games. He says, he says I wasn't worried. I could have gone, come back and gone to Raw or SmackDown. These high profiles. He says, but I come back to NXT because this is where the real talent and action is. He says, and this is where I wanted to prove myself.
Right on.
So yeah, he's so it's going to be interesting. And yeah, there was NXT. Like I said, there was several good matches. Matt Riddle and Keith Lee, match against the Undisputed Era guys. That was a great match. But yeah, there was a match between was it Io Shirai and now I'm drawing a blank here. But anyways, Io Shirai won, and then Shayna Baszler come out, and her girls come out, and with whoever the Io Shirai had faced against, and they started beating on her, and then Rhea Ripley come out, and then Bianca Belair come out, and then all these women started coming out, and it just turned into a Pier 6 brawl, as JR would say.
Right.
And it was great action. At one point, it was Baszler and Ripley were in the ring. They were the only two. People were fighting outside the ring, but they were the only two in the ring. And Ripley went in, and she did a takedown, and it was great. But Regal comes out, and he's screaming, "Get them apart, get them apart." And he's like, there's only one way to settle this. He pauses for a second, and then he says, "War Games." So this is going to be the first ever women War Games.
Awesome.
And they named the two captains. It's Shayna Baszler is the one team captain, and Rhea Ripley is the other team captain.
Yeah, I'm still standing behind Rhea Ripley, man.
It was. I tell you what, the ladies stole the show. They did. Yeah, I mean the match, that Io Shirai match that she had, that was a great match. Oh no, I take it back. I'm sorry. That wasn't the match that happened. It was the women's tag team title match. The Kabuki Warriors against
I wish I would have watched it.
Yeah. It's all these, I tell you, that's the thing. We got all these new companies, all these new names coming in. It's like, they're trying to remember everyone, the names.
Well, that, I mean, you start mixing up matches with different promotions, and then you're like, next thing you know, we're all, discombobulated and combobbled. Which
the Kabuki Warriors, they held on to the title. Again, that was a great match. That's what started it, is the tag match. I mean, that was an awesome match. I know Ashley hates the Hibachi Warriors, as she called them, but I dig them. I think they're cool. And they put on an entertaining match. And then I'm looking forward to that War Games match. That's gonna be
right. So, did you want to go ahead and, I can go through the rundown of Raw and SmackDown.
The Harajuku Girls, Ashley says?
The Harajuku Girls.
Harajuku!
So, Raw and SmackDown was pretty much in my opinion, it was kind of a snooze fest again. There's really not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, like you said, it's all pretty much just lead up,
Exactly.
Forced, just.
So, I'm going to go back to SmackDown here. SmackDown on the 25th, or on the 18th. Basically, it was Miz TV with Team Hogan and Team Flair. They're trash talking back and forth. New Day walking out with a tablet with Xavier Woods on there because Xavier Woods is now out with an injury. Lacey Evans had a real quick squash match. Nikki Cross, she came out. She was backstage talking to Michael Cole, talking about being the number one contender. Firefly Funhouse came back with the funeral for Ramblin' Rabbit. They brought Ramblin' Rabbit back only to be eaten immediately by Mercy the Buzzard. Drew Gulak had a little face-off with Kalisto this week, which was actually still kind of funny because he kept trying to push his agenda with the his PowerPoint for the Braun Strowman Tyson Fury match. But then Kalisto, obviously went ahead and won. Let's see. So Daniel Bryan came out to talk to Michael Cole. Michael Cole asks him about the changes over the past few weeks. He asked Bryan if the Yes Movement is back. And Nakamura came out with Sami Zayn, and they were saying, "You're just like us. You're just like us. You're not, you shouldn't go back to these people." And basically, they put, the hand out like they're going to shake it, and Bryan walked right past them. So, is the Yes Movement back? Who knows? So, Nikki Cross versus Mandy Rose with Bayley and Sasha Banks ringside. They basically, Nikki Cross wins the match with a swinging neckbreaker. Why don't they ever catch on with the, this is a Nikki Cross crossbody? So instead of using the Nikki Cross crossbody, why don't they just call it the Nikki Crossbody?
Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
You're saying cross. Doesn't make sense. So anyways,
True.
and then there was the beatdown from Brock Lesnar on Mysterio and Velasquez, and once again Dominic just needs to stay away from the show. He just keeps getting his ass handed to him. Let's see.
I personally think that I think WrestleMania would end up being a Dominic versus Rey Mysterio match.
You think so?
I think they might try to pull that twist where Dominic is going to turn on Rey. You didn't protect me, thing. I could see that.
Okay.
WrestleMania.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. Rey Mysterio, if he was, if Rey Mysterio, has been contemplating retirement, what a way for him to go out, though, man. If he were to go out and have his last match be against his kid at WrestleMania.
True.
That'd be something, that he'd be a proud moment for him,
Didn't one of his first matches, wasn't it, again, I think it was like against his uncle or his dad, one of the two. Because I know both of them were big superstars in Mexico whenever he first started getting into the ring.
That I'm not sure of.
I'll have to look into that. So.
Indeed.
So, Raw.
Oh, wait.
Yep.
Joey, do you have any input?
Absolutely.
Yes.
You're shitting even more in your tank, man.
Oh, man. Joey is a pooping machine.
Who lives on a pineapple under the sea. Apparently Joey does.
Yeah. Oh, man. We got to get him changed back, man. Because I don't want to take care of Joey for the rest of his life.
But, he's a fish. He's probably not going to last until the next episode.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll just have.
That's right. And I know he's in this little glass bowl right now, but I'll take him home and put him in my big aquarium, so he'll have lots of room to swim and play with other fishies. Yeah.
Let Lauren and his daughter come over and say hi to Daddy and stuff.
Anytime they want to come over and
and
she wants to come over and give Daddy some fish flakes. They're welcome.
Yep. So, anyways, Raw opens up with a pop with Paige's music hitting. So Paige came out and with the Harajuku girls. Harajuku girls. Yeah. And they all get in the ring, and she says how proud she is of them, and how far they've come since they were introduced. And then so Asuka takes the microphone away from Paige and starts talking Chinese or Japanese or whatever it is. And then Paige takes the microphone back, and then Kairi Sane grabs the microphone and starts talking in Japanese again. And so Paige goes to take the microphone away from her and turns back to Asuka, and then she hits her with the mist, the green mist.
On Paige?
On Paige.
Oh, man.
So with that happening,
It's not the first time Paige has had something shot in her face. Oh, no!
He went there. So anyways.
Sorry. There's the line. I stepped over it.
So as they were
Silly
cleaning,
Paige.
as they were cleaning the fluids off of her face,
She was squeegee in her forehead.
another man came out to the ring to go ahead and
It wasn't Brad Maddox.
and to defend her honor. So, anyways, Becky Lynch comes out to the ring with an impromptu match against Kairi Sane, which I mean is a pretty quick and easy squash match with her putting her in the disarmor and making her tap out. Of course, the Street Profits had to come out and get the crowd pumped, which is always fun to watch the Street Profits because they're on fire right now. Pretty much the whole entire crowd starts chanting, "We want smoke," or "We want the smoke." Let's see. Yeah, and then another dig at the Hogan Flair build up for Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
The OC surrounding Humberto Carrillo and pretty much insulting him. And AJ says, if you want to go for a real title, then you'll go for this one. And he puts the United States Championship up in front of Humberto Carrillo's face, and then they wind up having a match. Let's see. Seth Rollins, he fights against Rowan in a Falls Count Anywhere match, which I'm not even gonna lie, I was more interested in writing the article than I was in watching the match. I don't know. It was just to me, anything with Rowan lately is just a snooze fest.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, the Lashley Lana divorce court. Aleister Black, comes on with a real quick vignette saying that everybody wants to fight me. So, which, just put him in some decent matches. Quit making him do these vignettes, these little interview things, and just use the guy, for crying out loud. So anyways, the OC come out. Humberto Carrillo comes out. Basically Humberto is he's keeping up with AJ Styles,
Yeah.
and even
I
over.
like him, man. I think he's a great. He's going to be good.
I will say that he did not come out with his Power Rangers outfit this week.
No, yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah. A lot of people were picking on him last week because of the Power Rangers outfit, which is not a Power Rangers outfit. If you know anything about Mexican wrestling, that was actually tribute to his lineage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's he winds up losing, and then the OC, they decide they're going to come in and try to squash him and, beat him up. And who comes out to his rescue? The Street Profits. So that was pretty badass. Yeah. I like the fact that they don't need to put, an already over legend or something like that with him, with Humberto Carrillo. They're putting two fresh talents together, with the Street Profits and Carrillo to take on established, talent with the OC. Which I thought that was probably the high point of the whole night. Just my opinion. And then, of course, the whole divorce court at the end, which, I put a hot poker in my eye, sat on a gerbil,
Yes.
and,
Yeah, it's enough with the drama. Just get to having matches.
Exactly.
Just get them in the ring against one another, and let's get this going. And,
one or two, but don't keep shoving this crap down our throat.
The first time you showed it should have been enough. Like, okay, all right, there's enough. We don't need to keep going to that. It's obvious why there's heat between Lashley and Rusev over this, and let's just get on with the feud.
Exactly. So, anyways, that was Raw and SmackDown in a nutshell.
Now,
quickly.
Yeah, so we already talked about Power Hour. We talked about NXT. Now AEW. AEW was good. We had a great match with Hangman Page and Sammy Guevara. You know, awesome match. Hangman Page winning. We had, like I said, it was the Kabuki Warriors defended against. No, not Kabuki Warriors. That was NXT.
Right.
See, we're talking about that show running. The show running. No, AEW. We had. There was a contract signing with Jericho and Cody Rhodes, which, interesting. Just trash talking, and it started with the whole. It was the competition, and Cody grabs Jericho, and Jericho's whoa, hey. Cody says something about we can take this to the ring right now. We don't have to wait. Jericho says, I think you're going to be busy. And then they show the monitor, and that's you. They show Jake Hager outside with Sammy Guevara just pummeling Dustin Rhodes.
Oh.
Okay. I mean, Jake Hager is slamming Dustin Rhodes' head into the fender of this limo. You could see dents going into the side of the things. I mean, he was really. And then he goes to get up, and he puts his arm up, and Jake Hager slams the car door on Dustin, his arm, and
oh wow.
So so Cody come run out there and they stop that. So that feud's getting heated. The Rock and Roll Express came out.
I heard about that.
They came out with the AEW tag belts, showing them off because there was the big tag match between the Lucha Brothers and SCU, which was.
Which the SCU was the ones that actually took the...
Yeah, Kazarian and Scorpio, who was it?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Too Cold Scorpio?
Scorpio Sky.
Scorpio Sky, something. Scorpion something or other.
Yeah.
But yeah, SCU, they ended up winning. And again, that was a great match too in itself. We had, what else? Oh, Moxley come out.
Okay.
Moxley and Kenny Omega are gonna have an unsanctioned anything goes match, which should be pretty good because if anyone remembers the last unsanctioned match that Moxley had, early on in AEW. That was pretty good. That's where he took the shoes off of the guy. Was it Darby? Or no. What was the name of that kid the young kid, the one that Enzo got to the fight with at the fair.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, he takes his shoes off and drops them down on tacks and slams it.
Shit.
Oh man! And he kind of lifts his legs up. You can see the tack stuck his feet. So it got a little wild. Moxley could get a little out of control. So an unsanctioned, no holds barred, anything goes match with Kenny Omega should be good.
Yeah.
There was the young. There was a match with the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega took on. Who was it they took on? You didn't see AEW either?
I didn't see AEW either. Yeah, we're running a wrestling show. I'm not watching wrestling.
Yeah, who are we, Joey?
No.
Yeah,
Hey, that's what.
That was the other thing that happened on AEW that kind of got a kick out of. It was the Best Friends.
Okay.
That tag team, Best Friends, and Orange Cassidy.
And
was like
he had another guy that looked just like him. Or something.
It was
like
a
that.
sixth tag, that they had, and the Best Friend guys. They come out. They were dressed as Rick and Morty. Yeah, they had the wigs on and everything. And Orange Cassidy, that dude is perplexing to me.
Yeah.
His whole thing, and it was funny, with the hands in the pocket, and he does the kick thing. And then when he hits him and he like lands on his feet and he jumps back up and he never even takes it. He did a running dive outside the ring, like through the ropes, like Seth Rollins does.
Right.
Never took his hands out of his pockets. Runs off the rope, hands in the pocket, dives through the middle ropes, hands in the pockets, kind of corkscrews over and cross bodies these guys, takes him out. Never lost his glasses. He gets back in the ring and he's standing there. The ref grabs his glasses, runs up behind him, puts his glasses back on him from behind. I'm not sure what to make of that guy, man. But I seen him, just do it with the hands in the pocket thing. That just cracks me up when he does these dives and stuff, and never removing them. It cracks me up.
Asian. DDP was at AEW.
Yeah. Well, he's part of AEW.
Right.
He was in the match last week when. Cody and when Jericho and all his cronies were up in the
he was part of the faction that was going against the
inner circle.
Inner circle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So DDP though, it's not surprising. DDP is close with the Rhodes family. I mean,
right.
Dusty Rhodes pretty much discovered DDP and gave him his break. So he's been forever grateful to the Rhodes family for that.
Yes, he has.
So, it'll be interesting. And, again, we did mention it, but again, I wanted to say congratulations, though, to SCU for becoming the inaugural first ever AEW Tag Team Champs.
Right.
When the Rock and Roll Express came out presenting the belts, of course, the Inner Circle guys, Ortiz and what's his name, the other one from former LAX guys that are with Jericho.
Right.
Yeah, they came out and attacked the Rock and Roll Express, like power bombing one of them through a table, or off the stage, through some tables and stuff. So it was cool seeing those guys, because I remember them back in the day. But I was afraid for them when he got power bombed off the stage. I'm like, oh, that can't be good for someone of his age.
Do you want to go ahead and go into the Crown Jewel results?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's light this up, man.
Let's light this fire.
So, there was a 20-man battle royal, which basically saw the likes of, Buddy Murphy, R-Truth, Andrade, Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, Cedric Alexander, Humberto Carrillo. They all went through pretty much hell in this 20-man battle royal, with Humberto Carrillo actually being the number one contender for the U.S. title, and that was on the kickoff show. So, and then the 24/7, 7-Eleven, 94, 2005 championship, R-Truth defeated Sunil Singh via pinfall to win the title again. So he's now the 7-Eleven 24.
What is he, like the 26 time,
yeah, something like that.
24/7 champion, guys. Right. He's doubled Flair's record.
Oh yeah, easily. Let's see. That was also on the kickoff show. Poor Joey.
Just wanted to see if he had any input.
No, I'm good.
No, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Just like normal. Yeah, doesn't watch anything.
Nope.
Joey, how in the hell are you supposed to send me email for the shows? Are you eating your poop?
It looks like it. He's eating something in there, man.
Oh, dude, he's tearing that up, dude.
He's giving it a good working over. I feel bad that we turned him into a fish, but,
Yeah, but that Papa Shango book was awesome.
It was karma, it happens.
Yeah.
The old saying goes, you mess with the janitor, you get the mop.
Exactly.
So, that one was for you, Coop.
So, Going into the beginning of the show, which I found it odd that Brock Lesnar and Cain Velasquez was the first match.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I heard that too.
So that was a pretty quick match. I mean, it was under 2 minutes with Lesnar putting Cain Velasquez in a submission move, and Cain submitted. I mean, I would have liked to have seen more of a UFC fight between the two.
Yeah.
Than what we got. But anyways, Mysterio calls out Lesnar backstage later in the show. Mysterio gave Lesnar credit for beating Velasquez, but Mysterio said Lesnar will pay for everything he did to his son Dominic and their family soon. Which only says to me is that Rey Mysterio is working up to have a match with Lesnar.
Yeah.
And,
I had seen an interview with Rey Mysterio a while back, Eric. He straight up said, I would love to have one more little feud run against Lesnar before I retire.
Right.
And I guess he's getting his wish.
Yep. Then there was the tag team championship thing?
Tag team turmoil.
Tag team turmoil match.
Yes.
Basically, there was several different tag teams that was involved in that. With the Viking Raiders taking the drop to the OC, which is the OC is now got the World Cup. Let's see. So Ziggler and Rude defeated Lucha House Party via pinfall. Ziggler and Rude defeated Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Heavy Machinery defeated Ziggler and Rude. New Day defeated Heavy Machinery. New Day defeated the B-Team. New Day defeated the Revival. And the OC defeated the New Day. So the New Day was in there for quite a bit.
Yeah.
With Kofi, in there most of the time for that.
It's funny how he's just sort of... he just got right back into the whole tag team swing of things,
Right. So, and then we go into the Mansoor defeating Cesaro. Mansoor obviously being the hometown hero for Saudi Arabia, and that was their guy. But yeah, he wound up beating Cesaro. I mean, it was a decent match. I mean, it wasn't one that was like it wasn't crap.
Right.
Then there was the Tyson Fury defeating Braun Strowman via countout. So basically there was a mix between wrestling and boxing. Strowman took down Fury with the right hand outside the ring. Fury caught a charging Strowman with a double boot. So yeah, I mean that was also a good match. With like I said, Fury getting the win over Strowman, after being counted out.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Which, I mean, honestly, Fury's the undefeated boxing champ. He's got a big match against Deontay Wilder coming up. Right. He wasn't going to lose.
Right.
I understand boxing, a real heavyweight, boxing match. It's different than a wrestling match. But still, it's the image, and all that kind of stuff. They weren't going to have him lose, but he can't beat Braun Strowman, in a clean. He can't have a clean victory against Strowman either because he's not a wrestler. Strowman is a wrestler, and that's his thing. So that doesn't surprise me that Fury won by countout.
Right.
And I also wasn't surprised that Lesnar won because I didn't expect Kane. Honestly, they're not going to put the title on Kane for one. He's only had a handful of wrestling matches, period.
Right.
And they're not going to put the belt on him, and so, but it was to be expected. So.
Exactly. So going back to the 24/7/11 1955,
Cadillac Eldorado.
Yep. They're going back to, what was it, April 29th, 1985.
Yeah.
So, Samir Singh defeated R-Truth again. So he tried to escape, but ran into the pair of closed doors and knocked himself out, only to be pinned by Samir Singh. AJ Styles went ahead and went on and wrestled Humberto Carrillo, which I thought that was a bad idea to have Humberto go through what he went through to win that championship opportunity, only to wrestle a fresh AJ Styles. I think that was kind of, a poor choice. I would have much rather have seen that on Raw than on, but hey, I'm not running the company.
I agree.
So, but anyways, Humberto lost. Then getting over to the Natalya and Lacey Evans match, which, like I said, that was a very classy match. You'll notice that, and if you see any of the videos or any of the photos from the match, they had to abide by the laws of Saudi Arabia, which basically states that the women cannot show any skin below the neck. So they had to wrestle completely and totally covered up, with the exception of their hands and their heads.
They were wearing
a shirt on.
They had shirts on,
loose wearing shirts.
Yeah, loose shirts. And Lacey Evans, who always wears, the little shorts, she had on the long pants.
Right.
Yeah, that was the one thing I did notice. And I'm like, that's the Saudi stuff, right there, rules.
Yep. Also, go into the Team Hogan, which I'm just going to go ahead and break it down. I mean, it wasn't that interesting. Team Hogan wins.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with these crown jewel matches,
they're gimmick.
It's but it's going to be rare that you're going to find a situation at a crown jewel match where the bad guy is going to win. Most of the time, it's going to be the good guy winning.
Right. Which leads me right into the last match of the night with that pay-per-view. With the Seth Rollins and The Fiend.
Yeah.
So the entire crowd kept chanting "Yowie Wowie" the entire match.
I was surprised at how much that Saudi crowd was into, and just the whole show, though.
Right.
I mean, they had chants. They were yelling stuff.
I mean, the fact that they actually shook Natalya and Lacey Evans' hands as they were, leaving the ring. That said, that spoke volumes. But I mean, yeah, they're definitely a very wily crowd. But that Seth Rollins Bray Wyatt match, in my honest opinion, as a wrestling fan, I thought that was a makeup for the Hell in a Cell debacle. I thought that was everything that we deserved from the Hell in a Cell match. It was a great match. I love the entire from beginning, middle to end. Basically, Seth Rollins kept throwing everything that he had at the Fiend, and the Fiend kept getting back up. I mean, it was 10 curb stomps that he took. He took 10 curb stomps and 6 super kicks. Finally, super kicking him into the backstage area, causing sparks and causing fire and all that kind of good stuff down below the stage. Seth goes down there to grab him and to finally pin him because it was a Falls Count Anywhere match. They wound up, he pulls everything out. Sparks fly, get in his eyes.
Yeah.
And then he sits down and he's like, my eyes, and then all of a sudden, Bray Wyatt is standing behind him.
Literally
again.
like a scene from a horror flick.
Yes.
Seth Rollins is sitting there with he's got his eyes, and the ref standing in front of him, and you just see from behind Seth, you just see the Fiend stand up behind him. And he's standing up on something too, so he's up above him, looking
Like
looks
towering
even
down,
more
yeah.
ominous, and yeah, he just right in, grabs him, with the mandible claw. He's mandible claw, and then Sister Abigail to the concrete, and
for the 1, 2, 3, and he
we got a new Universal Champion.
I'm
Now the question is, how are they going to do this? Because he was drafted to SmackDown. So now technically, both the Universal and the WWE Heavyweight Championships are both on SmackDown.
Well, if we didn't remember here a couple weeks ago, there was that trade
for no one with a person to be named later.
Yep. And I think that he's going to wind up coming to Raw, which would then tie into Rowan, Harper, and Liv Morgan,
who has been drafted to Raw also,
who are all on Raw. So, what's that saying? They're setting something up.
Yeah.
Dude, you scared Joey, man. You scared.
Sorry,
Joey.
Set my drink down and the vibration startled Joey.
Yeah, he pooped a little, so again, don't eat this one, man.
Sorry, little buddy.
Yeah.
Bing.
All right, so that just wraps up pretty much all of our recaps and everything. Now our main meat of the show is scary and creepy.
Yeah, just scary, creepy, spooky characters, gimmicks, storylines. Now, when we're talking about the scary, creepy, we can some of these guys that we may mention and talk about now. They're not necessarily like creepy in like their appearance, you can look at the Boogeyman, you can look at the Fiend, Papa Shango, Undertaker, Kane, the Demon, Vampiro. These guys, you can just look at them and go, oh, that's kind of creepy looking. But then there's guys that are scary for a different reason. Andre the Giant, Brock Lesnar,
Scott Steiner.
Yeah, Scott Steiner. Haku is a big one.
Yeah.
Mark Henry, Braun Strowman. These guys are scary because of their size, their strength, their demeanor, disposition. I mean, honestly, I think I might rather, I would rather run into, Vampiro in some alley than I would rather run into Scott Steiner.
I mean, man, dude, whenever he had his face and everything like that, dude, it was just like...
Well, yeah, but Scott Steiner just made up for it in the crazy.
Yeah, no, he did, man. Scott Steiner. I mean, he was, freaking genetic freak of nature. So,
yeah.
I mean, just
but, there's been so many of these, but some of these now were just straight like something from. It could have been something out of a horror movie.
right.
Some of these characters.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of characters also that, had potential for great storylines, but never really got the push, or the fans never really got behind, which I think is, like, say, for example, Vampiro.
Yeah.
Vampiro could have very easily had more of a push than he actually did. We could thank WCW and, Vince Russo for that, but but I mean, the Demon was, in my opinion, was just a ripoff of Kiss. Gene Simmons.
Oh
for
yeah,
Kiss.
well that's exactly who he did his face makeup and everything just like Gene Simmons.
Well, whenever he first came in, he was also introduced by Gene Simmons.
True. Yeah.
So.
But but there's been, like I said, there also have been some some legit scary, creepy dudes, over the years too. Abdullah the Butcher.
Yes.
He's one that comes to mind. That dude was spooky, creepy, crazy. Just, that look, he was crazy. The dude was fearless. I mean, I don't think he ever had a match where he didn't get like bloody. I swear to God, that guy would get bloody making a peanut butter sandwich. He just
yeah.
He liked to bleed, I think.
There was one person that comes to mind that really would scare the holy living crap out of me above any of the other like creepy gimmicks, and that was Nails.
Nails, yeah.
Nails, and
the convict.
Yeah.
So those of you who don't know, he wore like this orange convict jumpsuit, and it was an inmate, he had numbers on it and
right. I mean, and not only that, but I mean, he was certifiably a psychopath behind the scenes.
Yeah, he was legit crazy.
Yeah.
And he was actually let go from the company. There was a whole big
he tried
controversy.
Right. He tried to attack Vince because he felt that he deserved more money for doing what he was doing.
Right. And then said that when after he attacked, then he claimed that Vince McMahon was trying to sexually assault him.
Could be.
I don't buy that, but
well, Vince McMahon, sexually assaulted me.
Oh man, that's terrible, Brad.
Yeah.
Explains a lot. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I heard that Joey was sexually harassed by Hornswoggle and Doink
at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that was during the second part of the Papa Shango
and that
book.
little Minotaur guy too.
Yeah. El Toro.
Yeah.
El Toro.
Yes.
But wasn't that part of the second part of the Papa Shango book stuff?
Yeah, maybe
That was a long night.
So much happened. We had made this weird little potion brew stuff, and everything's a blur after all that. I just know it's like come to and Joey's a fish.
Yep.
So, what can you do?
Yeah, the green mist and the creepy chants and it was just
So back to the subject at hand with the creepy. There's been the list of characters that we could name and talk about. Like you said, we've already touched on a few. The Vampiros and the Demon, Abdullah the Butcher. There was Kamala, the Ugandan giant. Papa Shango, Kane,
Umaga.
Undertaker, Umaga, George the Animal Steel. He had kind of a creepy vibe to him.
Well, I mean, so did kind of the Jake the Snake Roberts with Damien. That was, back in the day, that was the pinnacle of creepy because he had the live snake, which was a very huge snake and could have easily
Well, it did bite Randy Savage in one match.
Yeah.
It bit him, bit hold of him. It's funny how some characters seem to, that whole weird, creepy gimmick thing, it just seems to be their thing because they've done it on numerous occasions.
Yeah.
Kane. Before he was Kane, as some of you may or may not know, he was a demented, evil, psychotic dentist called Isaac Yankem.
DDS.
DDS, absolutely.
And he was WCW. That was where he had that gimmick, which kind of fell by the wayside.
Right.
And he came back as Kane.
Which he hit that one out of the park.
Yes.
He probably wishes he'd come up with that one a long time ago.
Right.
Some other notable guys who have multiple, the character of Mordecai. If those of you don't remember him, but the long white hair, eyebrows, goatee, beard, everything. He dressed in white. He carried that crazy scepter thing, and the WWE's whole plan for him was to put him in a feud with Undertaker. It was black and white, good versus evil, dark versus light. But he was kind of creepy, but it didn't work. But then he went on to Mordecai went to TNA Impact and became Kevin Thorne, and that was a successful character for him over there.
That was ECW.
Oh, that's right. That was ECW.
Yeah, because he was with oh gosh, what was her name? God, I can't remember her name now. But anyways, we had just talked about her in the Women of Wrestling because she was the valet for Kevin Thorne.
Yeah.
Gosh.
See, some other notables that played multiple characters while you try to think of her name. Dustin Rhodes was Goldust, who was...
Yes.
I mean, before Goldust became before they had the comedic version of Goldust, he was a edgier, creepier kind of, character. And so it's hard to even put into words to explain what Goldust was like in the beginning, if you were trying to describe him. But then he came to WCW, and WCW packaged him as Seven. For those of you who may or may not remember that. White, painted, just his head shaved, all white. Everything, wearing, black, but he's all white with the big Undertaker-esque hat. But I don't know that I think he did some promos. I don't know that he ever actually wrestled a match as Seven because he hated that seven character gimmick.
Right.
And there was this whole episode where he kind of, he even just kind of downed it as being ridiculous and, I don't want to do stupid, I don't want to do this, but he did also have a character in a creepy persona in TNA, Black Reign.
Yes, he did.
Now he did wrestle, and he did, was Black Reign for a while, which is just a black and silver version of Goldust, pretty much.
Right. Then we also have the likes of, Jeff Hardy, because Jeff Hardy's played quite a few different characters. He's played Brother Nero, which Brother Nero had the creepy eyes and he was kind of demented.
Yeah.
And then
his most demented was by far
Willow. Yeah. Willow, I thought, was an ingenious idea. I wish they would have pushed it a little bit further, but there's a lot of people that didn't really understand where he was going to with it.
We can go back further. We got guys, the Wild Samoans.
Yes.
We're kind of creepy. The Missing Link. For those of you who might remember him. Of course, the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom. When they first came out, there was nobody that looked like them. There was nobody like these two big hulking guys with the spiked up shoulder pads and the face paint and the one had a mohawk, one had the reverse mohawk. It just out there just bulldozing people, and again, they were intimidating, scary looking guys, and they were legit scary in the ring because they decimated people.
Right.
And should you, and if you were to beat them in the ring, well, watch your back because they were all about retribution.
Well, and also too, if you remember, whenever the Road Warriors were a huge hit back then, they actually had the likes of like Mad Max and stuff like that people were had to reference because Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome and the Road Warrior and stuff like that.
Speaking of Mad Max Road Warrior, there was a wrestling character briefly. They called him, I believe, Lord Humongous or whatever.
Right. And
he dressed and looked like the character from the Road Warrior Mad Max that called himself Humongous, Lord Humongous, I think.
Right, exactly.
With the hockey mask and, the big spiked gauntlets and the big, huge buff guy,
Yep.
But, he was odd. The great Muda.
Yes.
Was freaky. The great Kabuki.
Yep.
He was... The outfit that he come out to was very, it was kind of spooky, creepy, like that old Japanese, you know, samurai. I don't even know what you want to call that either. But oh man, it's. I mean, I'm trying to think. Sting, not the early Sting, but when he come back as the Crow version,
yeah, the Crow
you know,
version.
there was something dark, ominous, and kind of creepy about that character.
Which I really loved whenever they
Oh yeah,
first
some
brought
of
him
them,
back.
some of these characters were great.
Right.
Some of them were forgettable. Some of them should have never happened.
Like the Shockmaster.
Yeah, the Bastion Booger. I mean, that was creepy.
Yeah.
You know, but should
Brooklyn Brawler.
should have never happened. You know, the whole 7 in WCW that was ridiculous. That was.
Yeah.
But like I said, there are some that have just hit the Fiend,
Yes.
Undertaker, Kane. You know, these Sting. You know, like I said, these are ones.
Mankind. And
Mankind.
the Abyss.
Yeah, the Monster Abyss. AEW has a guy called Luchasaurus right now.
Yep.
Who's this big hulking guy with paints his face up looking like some kind of demented dinosaur thing.
Green tongue, that kind of good
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
Sabu
Yeah.
ECW. His persona. He was a little out there, kind of. New Jack. New Jack was he was a different type of scary.
There was another one in the early 2000s, and I think you're going to agree with this one. Was Muhammad Hassan. During the whole 2001 attacks on New York, WWE pulled the trigger on this guy, and his gimmick struck a whole different level of fear into fans, because he was portraying a
terrorist.
A terrorist, essentially.
Basically.
Right.
That was a short-lived character, though.
Right. Very short-lived. As a matter of fact, whenever he quit wrestling for the company, he tried very hard to change his image and his gimmick so he can continue, which he wound up not wrestling anymore because of the backlash that he got because of that.
Wow. Yeah. Crazy.
And speaking of, not so much scary or anything like that, but Adam Rose. You remember him with the Rosebuds?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you've seen him recently.
Yes.
He is a monster.
He looks like Adam Rose, or it looks like this dude ate Adam Rose.
Right, exactly.
I mean, he's like twice. He's like twice as big as he was.
Well, I read an article on.
He's huge. I mean, and we're talking jacked.
Like jacked. Yeah.
Not like he just was eating pork rinds by the handful. No. It's like he was. Pushing dumbbells by the handful.
Right, exactly. Pushing Volkswagens by the handfuls.
Yeah. Lifting buses off of puppies.
So, like his full beard, he's like got all this body hair now.
Hey.
I'm like, Joey, calm down, man.
Brad's talking.
Yeah.
Settle down, wait your turn.
Yeah.
Even when he's a fish, he's a disruption sometimes.
He is.
He is. We, it's. I mean, we should call the show Joey and My Two Dads, because we are like two dads trying to keep him wrangled.
Yeah,
even as a fish, as a fish, he is a handful.
Yep. So, but anyways, I read this article on Adam Rose where he said that whenever he left, he actually asked for his release from the WWE because of his drug addictions.
Really?
And WWE, they granted him his release, but also went ahead and sponsored him as, and put him in a drug rehab. And they also left the door open for him to come back. And now that he's clean, 5 years later, he's talking about a return back to the WWE as his, monster self. So I think that's going to be interesting to see how well that plays out.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
You know, someone else I just thought was a creepy character. I'm surprised you didn't bring him up yet, because I think you were a big fan of his. Gangrel.
Yes.
Gangrel and the Brood. Yeah, well, I guess it was Gangrel's entrance, and the Brood would be part of it sometimes. But one of the coolest entrances, I thought. It was just the music, that creepy kind of music that kicked up, and then the fire, and and then they literally rose up.
Out of the stage.
He's holding that goblet of the blood, and
yep.
And then when he with the Brood, then he would have Edge and Christian flanking on either side of him,
or the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, Hardy Boys. Yeah, that was good. That was I dug that one. Let's see, we have who else did we have that was just kind of like was great, and the women. This wasn't just the guys. We've had our share of freaky, creepy women,
Oh yeah, Luna Vachon.
Luna Vachon, exactly. Luna Vachon. I don't know if those of you that remember in WCW, there was a chick named Daphne.
Yeah.
Who she hung out with, like Raven and all those guys, and she was batshit crazy, too.
Well, there was also Rebby Sky during the whole Broken Matt Hardy thing. That was a whole creepy thing as well.
Yeah.
Awesome Kong.
Awesome Kong, yep. Jessica Havoc.
Yeah. ODB.
ODB, yeah.
I would not want to see her in a dark alley.
No. Well, I don't know. She maybe depends on what she was wearing.
We'll go ahead and come back to that one.
Yeah. Su Yung, who she's she's big in the independent scene right now.
Isn't she?
I think
she's wrestled with ARW.
She's wrestled with ARW, but yeah, she's got the Asian influence with the face paint and Scary Sherry.
Yes. Yep.
There's been some females too that like you said that fit into this category. Nicole Bass, China,
yep.
Just because they were kind of scary because they were just these big, huge, jacked up, women.
Even Tessa Blanchard kind of fits into that.
She herself isn't scary. Her abilities are scary.
Yeah. See,
where, someone like China Nicole Bass never had to throw a punch. They just walk into a room and could intimidate.
Right. Well, I think Nicole Bass was a man.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
May she rest in peace.
Yep. With China.
Yes.
Another, and I know I'm going to get backlash from this, but I have to make the joke. Sonny Kiss.
Sonny Kiss.
From AEW. Black dude that's openly gay.
Oh.
I mean, a lot of people might not be comfortable around someone like that. It could technically be a scary situation.
It could be, but there's been other guys that were openly gay in wrestling too.
Chris Kanyon.
That had Kanyon. Yeah, he was openly gay, and Kanyon, one of the best, just offensive. That guy, I swear to God, every time I seen him, he had some kind of new move that he pulled off. The guy was they called him the innovator of offense.
Right.
I mean, he was a great, phenomenal performer. In ring, tactician. Just the guy was great, and it's a shame, what happened with him, because I would have loved to have seen what he could have done in WWE.
Right.
On that scale, because I mean I know the success he had in WCW, and he never really got that.
Yeah.
That who's better than Kanyon, but he also though talking about Kanyon, nice segue.
Right.
is he had a creepy character called Mortis.
Yep.
It was part of a tag team, Wrath and Mortis.
Yes.
Which the guy who played Wrath was
Adam Bomb.
Adam Bomb from WWE, and also, if I'm not mistaken, or no, excuse me, that was Brian Adams. That was with Demolition. Who was another
That
kind of creepy guys? That was
those two got together. It was Adam Bomb and him that
they formed
had,
Chronic.
Yeah, they formed Chronic.
Right, but remember when Demolition had that third guy that was with them for a while?
Right.
That was Brian Adams.
Right.
So, but again, just talking about Demolition, there again, guys, big, big scary dudes, with the face paint and the get-ups and the masks and everything.
So
Very intimidating and creepy when they come out to the ring.
I mean, we've had Heidenreich with the Road Warriors. After was it Hawk that died?
Yeah, Hawk.
It was Animal and Heidenreich that came out for a short time.
Animal and Draws.
And then Animal and Draws. Then
They were
was
LOD 2000.
Right. And then there was Ezekiel Jackson with Road Warriors also.
Yeah, he partnered up with them several times in 6-man tag matches. He even had a set of shoulder pads with the spikes on it that was like, remember, they were like red with black spikes.
Right.
Because he wore the all red.
And then we have the certifiable crazy and scary, which was Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
Where, stabbing people behind
Arn
the scenes.
Anderson like 27 times or whatever.
And then we had...
Before he passed away, Bruiser Brody was a scary guy,
Right. And then we had, that attack on the Road Warriors where they're using the spikes to try to...
Yeah, well, see, I did say that. The Road Warriors were some big, mean, scary guys, man, who, like I said, even if you beat them,
Right.
that didn't mean nothing.
Right.
Okay, yeah, you won this match. But watch your back because
you're still getting your ass kicked
they're
backstage.
coming back for you. You
Right.
know.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, those guys were just they didn't mess around. Kevin Sullivan back in the day.
Yeah, with Fallen Angel.
Fallen Angel. He was a weird, creepy character. He would do the cross on his forehead and
Right.
he was a strange one. He was kind of a creepy one.
And then, of course, you've always got the classic Undertaker. With the Undertaker being
Doink. Doink was Doink scared the hell out of some people just because of their fear of clowns.
Oh yeah, Doink and Dink.
Yep.
Because Dink is actually a double whammy because not only was he a clown, but he was a midget, and a lot of people are afraid of midgets.
They are.
So,
yeah. Joey creeps me out all the time.
I mean, Ashley is afraid of midgets. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that why she always, when Joey would come over, she would always move to a seat that was a little further away from him?
That's exactly why.
I always wondered.
Yeah. She's like, they just smell like, circus peanuts, and they just kind of reminder of carnies and spam.
Yeah. It's okay, little buddy. Maybe when we bring you back, I'll find a spell that'll make you taller.
I wish it was a little bit taller. I wish it was.
What? Huh? Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Sure. But anyways.
So, but yeah, creepy works. People love horror. People love to be scared. People love to be freaked out. They're with the Fiend. I mean, they had to tone his they had to go and revise his mask and tone it down because
it was already
it was spooky. It was scary kids. So, it's there's something, like I said, there's just something to be said about that because people love to be scared. They enjoy it, and I'm one of those people. I enjoy it.
Oh yeah, the creepier the better in my book because it's that entertainment factor for me. I mean, it gets the blood pumping, it gets you the mind thinking. What are they gonna do next?
Yeah.
And it's like you start thinking about different things that they could be like right now. I mean, I'm completely and totally enthralled with the idea that Liv Morgan, in some capacity, may come back to help Bray Wyatt. I think that I've got this whole scenario worked out in my head on just because I love the storyline.
Yeah. I think she will. I mean, I do. I mean, I said I could be wrong, but I think that she will.
Yeah.
Let's hope that she does.
Right.
Because there's been so much build up and lead up and talk about it that if they didn't, I think people would be seriously disappointed.
Right. Her Twitter has hinted a lot to this certain things. Like whenever Seth Rollins burned the Funhouse down, she immediately, within minutes, had a post up on Twitter. And if you guys give me a second, I will go ahead and read that for you. But it's basically answering Seth Rollins burning down the Funhouse. I mean, and it was quite creepy. Let's see.
Oh yeah. I mean, think about it, man. You got if she came back with the Sister Abigail kind of thing, with partnering with the Fiend, we're talking about mixed intergender race matches now. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch.
Right.
Against the Fiend and Liv Morgan.
Right. I mean, she says in one of her tweets, "I've learned to love the pain. It makes me feel alive," with a black heart. She posts a picture of somebody that did a painting of her eyes bleeding, which, she is getting into that.
I've felt like that before.
Right, exactly.
Felt like my eyes were bleeding.
Yeah. I mean, only after I've been, on the toilet for at least 20 minutes and really trying to hunker down. Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just,
you
you bite down on a chunk of wood and get through it, man.
Right. But anyways, Liv Morgan, I mean, she could easily fall into this whole category of, creepiness. Especially whenever she answered the Seth Rollins burning everything down. She says, "Holy water cannot help you now. 1,000 armies couldn't keep me out. I don't want your money. I don't want your crown. I've come to bring your kingdom down." So, I mean...
It doesn't sound like she's wanting to have him over for tea.
No. Which... I posted on, quite a few different groups that we're in, and, just a lot of people are speculating that, oh, no, those were lyrics to a song. But it's oddly coincidental that actually happened minutes after he did that. So,
yeah.
Maybe lyrics to a song, but they fit perfectly
right
with the
yeah, and there's a reason she, tweeted that, so...
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think, Joey? Absolutely.
Oh, man. Joey, this might be one of your best shows, buddy.
Yeah, man. I'm really proud of you. You've come a long way in 15 shows.
Yeah, you barely veered off topic.
Yeah. You haven't jumped ahead this time. I'm very happy with that.
No, he went from Jump Ahead Joe to Swim the Bowl Joe.
Yeah. Eat the poo.
Yeah, eat the poop Joe. Eat the poop Joe. It's got a ring to it, don't it?
ETBJ. Yeah, ETBJ. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and call it a show for Halloween. Happy Halloween to all of you.
One more time. for those.
Plug that.
We got the 3-2-1 Screw Happy Halloween shirt with the bloody 3-2-1 Screw font, the Happy Halloween down there in orange, and if you would like, we can do the same shirt with the same bloody drippy font, but instead of in red, we could do it in green with the Happy Halloween in green also. So it's like a slime or an ooze, so we could do either of the two. I said, they're going to commemorate, our first show. And so it might be a cool little thing to have.
So, but we're going to go ahead and get out of here tonight. And we're going to try to enjoy the rest of our Halloween. And you want to go ahead and take this one away, and we'll get this one out the door for tonight.
Yes. And before we go, I just want to say one more time.
Yes.
Go you. Right there. Taking it to no. Disregard. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. He knows nothing of what he says. It's all about the you and only the you. That's.
We still going to be friends whenever
we'll see at 3:30 on Saturday.
Yeah. So we're still going to be friends whenever we win.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're not holding any grudges that Miami wins, we'll be fine.
That will be good whenever FSU
hopefully,
wins.
like I said, and hopefully we can get that reversal spell for Joey here, so we can have him back. As much as it's been nice, it's been calm, but we do miss having him. Not being a fish. He just so little input from him. He's just not been himself.
It's just not the same.
No.
All right.
So anyways, till next week when we do this all over again, we're going to bid you adieu and a happy Halloween to each and every one of you. Here at 3, 2,
1. Screw! Where is she?
Taking over your face, just like a heart attack. The pressure's rising, you can't contain. So clench your fist and stop because you know we're pulling you in.